Good morning. Are you still sleeping? Good morning to all of you. Thank you. That's a warm welcome. Today we have assembled here for this wonderful World Heritage Day with an excellent theme of Digital India and National Development. Who could be a better speaker than Srisant Pittoraju? So big round of applause for him. Before anything else, I think we would not like to waste more time on the ceremonial part. I would request Sri S. J. Desai, our chairman of the Institution of Engineers Research Center, to give the welcome address.
Good morning, all of you. What's the matter with Dhimo sir? What have you done? Good morning. Today's chief guest and theme speaker, Dr. Sam Pittoraju. Many of you present here might not be knowing that he is the pioneer of first telecom revolution in India in the late 90s. Sir, we welcome you wholeheartedly to our program, and we are thankful to you for sparing your valuable time from your very heavy schedule, which is jam-packed till late in the evening. We recently concluded our council meeting of the Institution of Engineers at Haridwar, where we had for the first time the president elected with a landslide victory, Sri Naveen Basoya, who is president-elect sitting here. I welcome him. He will be taking over in December at Kolkata for the year 2016-17. It's my pleasure to welcome all the dignitaries of the dais and the distinguished delegates, ladies, gentlemen, students and friends from media. Since we are all eager, we are all eager to listen to Dr. Pittoraju. I will not be between him and you. Once again, welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this very brief talk. Now, I think the flowers would represent token of love from our side. So may I request Sri Desai to present a bouquet and a memento to Chief Guest Sri Srisant. Now, on behalf of the Institution of Engineers and the Technicians chapter, may I request Manish Doshi to present a bouquet of flowers to Sam Pittoraju. May I request Mr. Vivek Ogra on behalf of Kesha to present the bouquet, please. From CSI, could I request you please do the honors? Mr. V.K. James from the Institution of Engineers and Science. Thank you all. Thank you very much, sir.
હું ભરતભાઈ પટેલને વિનંતી કરું છું ઓલ ઓફ ગુડ કોર્ડિનેશન અને ઓલ સોસાયટીને જે રિપ્રેઝેન્ટ કરે એસોસિએશન ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનને ભરતભાઈને વિનંતી કરું કે ડૉક્ટર શામ પિત્તોરા સાહેબને સાલથી સન્માન કરે. સમયસર આપણી આ સાહેબ આવ્યા અને ટૂંકા ગાળાની અંદર જ આપણને માત્ર આપણી વચ્ચે પિત્રોડા સાહેબની આપણી વચ્ચે ઉપસ્થિત રાખવા માટે જેમને મુખ્ય રોલ ભજવ્યો એવા શ્રી હિમાંશુભાઈ વ્યાસ જેઓ ઇન્ડો અમેરિકન ચેમ્બર્સના ફોર્મર ચેરમેન છે અને વિવિધ સંસ્થાઓ સાથે સહકાર એમનું સન્માન ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન CSI IIT બધા વતી હું સન્માન કરું છું.
Now, today it is quite a historic day that 3rd of October 2016, the Institution of Engineers and the Gujarat Technical University has signed an MOU. May I request the chairman and the registrar to please have an exchange of MOUs, please. For the technical, continuing education in technical fraternity, and we know that we have continuous education infrastructure being developed here. So I would want each one of you to take the best use of it. Now, moving forward, may I request Mr. Manish Doshi to give a brief about Dr. Sam Pitroda, although he needs no introduction, but please Manish. As the SSI has already mentioned about the Institution of Engineers President-elect Shri Naveen Bhai Vasoya, I would want Naveen Bhai Vasoya be felicitated through our chief guest today, Shri Sam Pitroda ji. May I have the memento and... Thank you, sir.
પિત્રોડા સાહેબનું ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન એટલા માટે આપું છું તમે બધા મને ઓળખો, પિત્રોડા સાહેબને બધા ઓળખતા જ એટલે એ બાને મારું પણ ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન થઈ જાય. મિસ્ટર Sam Pitroda is an internationally respected telecom inventor, entrepreneur, development thinker and policy maker who has spent 50 years in information and communication technology and related global and national development. પિત્રોડા સાહેબ આપણા છે એ સૌથી મોટી વાત છે. દેશ માટે એમણે એટલા માટે હું તમને ગુજરાતીમાં કહું છું કે ગુજરાતી તો છે પણ એના કરતાં દેશ માટે પોલિયો મુક્ત ભારત જાહેરાત ગમે નહીં આવે પણ સાહેબના શાસનની અંદર સાહેબ જ્યારે દેશમાં ટેલિકોમ ટેકનોલોજી મિશનના ચેરમેન હતા ત્યારે વેક્સિનેશન પ્રોગ્રામ એ Sam Pitroda સાહેબના રાજીવજીની સમયની અંદર થયો. ટેલિકોમ્યુનિકેશન અત્યારે આપણે ફોન લઈને પેડલ રિક્ષાવાળા પણ સાહેબ હંમેશા કહેતા હોય કે ટેકનોલોજી ફોર ઓલ એટલે એફોર્ડેબલ ટેકનોલોજી હોવી જોઈએ. એવું જે સાહેબનું વાત છે આજે આપણે ફોનની અંદર જોઈ શકીએ છીએ. પેડલ રિક્ષાવાળા પણ ફોન લઈને ફરી શકે છે અને એફોર્ડેબલ છે એટલે ટેકનોલોજીનો વ્યાપ વધાર્યો. કોમ્પ્યુટરાઇઝેશન, કોમ્પ્યુટર એજ્યુકેશન, ટેલિકોમ્યુનિકેશન વિવિધ ક્ષેત્રમાં કામ કર્યું. પણ સૌથી છેલ્લે એજ્યુકેશન જે સાહેબ કોઈ દિવસ ન કહે પણ કોઈને પણ સમય મળે તો નેશનલ નોલેજ કમિશનની વેબસાઇટ જોવી. નેશનલ નોલેજ કમિશન જેનું સાહેબે 2004 થી 2009 સુધી એના ચેરમેન હતા અને વાઇડ રેકમેન્ડેશન ફોર ક્વોલિટી એજ્યુકેશન ડિફરન્ટ ફિલ્ડમાં મેડિકલ એજ્યુકેશન, ટેકનિકલ એજ્યુકેશન, સ્કિલ ડેવલપમેન્ટ લગભગ મોર દેન 20 ડિફરન્ટ એમને ITIથી લઈને પોસ્ટ ગ્રેજ્યુએટ ને PhD સુધીના જુદા જુદા રેકમેન્ડેશન કર્યા છે જે દેશ માટે એક વિઝન ડોક્યુમેન્ટ છે, ભવિષ્યમાં બધાને કામ લાગે. એવું જ બીજું સાહેબનું કામ એ ફાઇબર ઓપ્ટિકમાં દેશમાં 1800 નોલેજ નેટવર્ક નોડ જેના દ્વારા દેશની તમામ એક્સેલન્ટ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનને એટલે IIT, IIM બધાને નેશનલ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનને જોડી દીધી અને ફાઇબર ઓપ્ટિકના નેટવર્કથી લાઇબ્રેરી ફોર ઓલ એ આપણને અવેલેબલ થાય, ખાસ કરીને સ્ટુડન્ટ અને ફેકલ્ટીઝ. એટલા માટે હું કહું છું, હું વિનંતી કરું કે જે સાહેબે આપણને ફોન ઉપલબ્ધ કરાવી ફોન આપણે સાયલન્ટ કરીએ, જેથી કરીને વાંધો ન આવે. સાહેબને ખબર છે કે આ ફોન આપણે બધા આગળ આવી ગયા છે હવે. થેન્ક યુ. હું પિત્તોરા સાહેબને વાર્મ વેલકમિંગ આપણે કરીએ. પિત્તોરા સાહેબ ડિજિટલ ઇન્ડિયા નેશનલ ડેવલપમેન્ટ ઉપર પોતાની આપશે. ડૉક્ટર સાહેબ પિત્તોરા.
Thanks, Manish Bhai. Dignitaries on the dais, distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed a special privilege for me to be here with you. Ahmedabad is home to me in many ways, and coming to Ahmedabad is like coming home to meet my friends and family. So I'm delighted that Manish Bhai and Himanshu Bhai, along with various important organizations related to engineering, have been able to organize this function. I would like to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about Digital India. Digital India is all about using digital technology to really expedite the process of modernization, development, and improve quality of life of citizens of India. That's the general objective. I want to give you a little bit of the history of Digital India and then talk about where we are today and then focus on where we could all go in the next decade or two. Hopefully I'll spend about 30-40 minutes and then we'll have interaction. That's what Manish Bhai told me. Digital India really got started in early 80s when Government of India decided to set up National Informatics Center headed then by Dr. Sheshagiri. It was part of a planning commission, and the idea then was to use satellite-based network to connect data from district to Delhi, which could be used for planning purpose. So there were computers in the district level, there was a satellite link dedicated and big centralized system in Delhi. So you can get information from district on infant mortality, female literacy, education, health, agriculture, population, and various other things important for planning purpose. Then technology was very primitive compared to what we have today. Computers were still expensive. They were more like desktop. Data rates were very low, but the process began. In the process, we learned a great deal about using computers, because I remember in Rajiv Gandhi's time, people used to criticize us for putting too much emphasis on computers, software. Some used to say, what do these people know about rural India? Why are they wasting money on computers and software. But those were the seeds planted for Digital India almost 30 years ago, 35 years ago. In 35 years, computer technology has changed substantially. Now, the power that was available on the desktop is now available in wristwatch. Cell phones are much more powerful in terms of computing capabilities than anything we could think of in 80s. These things have gigabits of bytes of memory, which require one full room of hardware in early 80s. So as hardware software technologies changed, the idea of Digital India changed. What looked like Digital India in 80s is very different from what looked like Digital India in 2015. Today, the fundamental issues are cloud computing, open source software, high-speed fiber optics network, broadband connectivity, standards, and low-cost handheld terminals. These are the things that dictate the architecture of Digital India today. So let's fast forward, saying the seeds planted in 80s kept changing. Computers got cheaper, networks got better, speeds increased, but all of the software being written in the last 25, 30 years was mainly in vertical silos. Software for income tax, software for passport, software for driver's license, software for agriculture. And all of these applications were basically dictated by one particular department, and department was the beneficiary of computerization. Citizens didn't get much from it. It was really to improve productivity and efficiency of the government department. So it was basically from G to G, what we normally call government to government. And then when hardware, software got cheaper, connectivity improved, people started thinking about G to C, government to consumer, government to public. What can public get out of computerization? And then everybody said, what about pension payment? What about birth certificate, land record, death certificate, and all kinds of things for which citizens have to go to government. And you have intermediary. Can we really simplify that interface? Can we reduce government interaction and help citizens in improving services? That started changing government thinking everywhere, not just in India, everywhere, on digitization. Because digitization is all about national development. And while India was doing it, other countries were equally engaged in doing these kinds of things to help citizen services. Take, for example, United States, which is considered to be far advanced in digital applications in government. But there also focus was on vertical silos. Immigration department did not talk to income tax department. And income tax department did not talk to passport department. This was the general thinking. Then comes internet. And as soon as internet comes, everything changes. Internet and web is the biggest technological revolution, not only in IT, but in many ways in everything else, because IT has become pervasive. So as internet came, people started thinking about e-governance very differently, because now everything is connected to everything else. According to me, nothing like internet ever happened in the human history for the last 15,000 years. 15,000 years ago, language was invented, which brought communities together in isolated pockets. Internet is one of those things which brought everybody together and connected whole humanity. I always emphasize the fact that when I started my work in telecom in India, we had 2 million telephones. Today, we have 1 billion telephones, just in 25 years. And today we are a nation of a connected billion. Similarly, we are a world where all 8 billion are essentially connected. Once that we are all connected, we can begin to see things differently. We can look at more holistic approach to everything. We can think in terms of biological science, all our development, as opposed to vertical silos. Now we realize, because of the connectivity, that everything we do today has impact on everything else. If we do something here, it affects people in other parts of the world. If we produce a product, it affects our environment. So now, because of the connectivity and interconnections, we realize that we are all connected. And we need to look at this world very differently than we have looked at in the past. In the past also we looked at vertical silos, not only as departments, but as countries. One country could say, I will do whatever I feel like, and not worry about the environment. Another country would say, look, it is my problem. And today you can't say that. Whatever you do is everybody's problem today. In light of this development in internet, everyone is now looking at digital applications very differently. So at the United Nations, we have a group called UN Commission on Broadband, where I am one of the founders. And we meet once every 6 months. We just had a meeting in New York in September, where we all spend one day to see how we can help through UN every country in the world on improving broadband speed, access, applications, and all kinds of other things. Those reports are available on the web. If you just go type Broadband Commission of the UN, you will see all of that. There is another group at the International Telecom Union called Mobile Empowerment, which I chair for the world, and there are about 30-40 countries who work with me to create standards and applications for mobile-related digital applications. And there also we meet once every 6 months. Our next meeting is in Thailand. I believe it's in November. And all of these high-level groups are being set up to see how digital technology will impact UN developmental goals, sustainable development goals that has been set up, 17 goals. So it is in this light we have to see Digital India. So having laid this background, now let's fast forward some more and saying today what do we need for Digital India? So about 10 years ago, some of us thought about a broader view of digital India. And we said, first thing we need is connectivity. Because if you don't have connectivity, you can't implement digital India. So we realized then that we have 1 million kilometer of optical fiber already in place in India. But a lot of this optical fiber goes between big cities. And a lot of our villages and panchayats are not connected using optical fiber. Question? In conversation, chalu hai. Okay. So our idea was to really take fiber optics to 250,000 panchayats. And we realized that we would need another half a kilometer of optical fiber, which would require about 40,000 crores investment. So I personally went to Manmohan Singh, then he was Prime Minister, explained the issue, and we agreed that we will take 35,000 crores from the Universal Service Obligation Fund and put that in building fiber optics connectivity infrastructure for broadband to panchayat. Took about 2-3 years to prepare a cabinet note, get everybody's consensus because it's a big amount of money. 40,000 crores is 40,000 crores. Convincing government to spend 40,000 crores on fiber optics project wasn't very easy. Nobody even knows about all this stuff. So when you see this digital India, you have no idea what goes into building it. Then we started laying out a plan to connect panchayats, and then everybody wants a piece of that 40,000 crore. So everybody has their idea of who should build, how it should be built, who will get the order, what are the standards, what equipment. So Nandan Nilekani and I started chairing committees after committees to convince everybody. Then we needed to free up a spectrum from military, army. Then only you can auction off 4G. So I had a series of meetings with Army, Navy, Department of Telecom and trying to convince them. And I remember finally I called one meeting of about 30 people, Army, Navy, everybody, and convinced them that they need to free up their spectrum, which took almost a year or year and a half of conversation. At that point in time, Army said, look, we can only make this happen if you get us 8,000 crores from government to build our own fiber optics network. In that meeting, which I chaired, I said, I will get you 8,000 crores. Immediately that evening, I went to Pranab Mukherjee, who was finance minister, and I said, Pranab, I need 8,000 crores. And in 5 minutes he agreed. He said, fine Sam, just tell them. The point is, this is what it takes. If you go through all these decisions, you will realize what it takes and how long it takes to do these things. But average person doesn't get it. And I don't blame them. They get all this media coverage, digital India, and say, my God, this new thing has come called Digital India. And that's why I thought I use this platform to tell you about how these things get done. So one task was connectivity. It required 40,000 crores, freeing up spectrum from Army, giving them another 8,000 crores to build their fiber optics network. So roughly about 50,000 crores. Then comes UID, the program that Nandan Nilekani championed and very successfully implemented, that everybody thought cannot be done. Even US and experts thought this is not possible. To provide UID for facial, iris, fingerprint to billion people, 1 billion, is not easy. But let me tell you the bigger challenge, which average person doesn't understand. When you have billion people putting their fingerprints and trying to check their transaction, At least out of billion, at one point in time, 2 million could be doing live transaction. That response time has to be less than 7 seconds. So when you sit there for a transaction, 2 million people from all over the country randomly are asking for that transaction. No matter where you are, that transaction has to be completed in 7 seconds because you don't know what goes on in the back. So thousands and millions of interactions take place. That architecture of hardware, software was a very big challenge. We had to get experts from US, Indian experts. We had to convince them that this is for real, and we built that architecture collectively. Credit goes to Nandan. Nandan got it done. And today, we are the only country in the world where you have UID kind of base for billion people. Nobody else has. Now we are working with many countries in the world to offer this. I just had a meeting at the UN 3 weeks ago, where we want to offer this to all the countries in Africa as a gift from India, saying here is a technology. We have already done it, you can never do it on your own. So beside connectivity, UID. UID is another 15,000 crores. Then comes GIS. GIS is more about maps. In India, we have 10 different departments having 10 different maps. Revenue department has their map, telecom has their map, power department has their map, water department has their map, and none of these maps match. So I started negotiations with all the departments. Took 3 years to convince all the departments in the government that we need one map. So we did prepare a cabinet note again requires thousands of crores, and said we need to create national GIS program. So like we tag every human being, resident with unique ID, we want to tag every physical space. So this building will have IP address. Every street, every bus stand, every train station, every home, every office building will have a tag. That program is underway. Then you need fourth platform for applications. 30 major applications from transport to driver's license to all that. And common platform to provide these applications. Then you need data centers. In US, for example, we have 1,200 data centers. In India, we decided to build 4 major data centers. Bhubaneswar, Hyderabad, Pune, and Delhi. And then every state will have their own data center. These data centers are very complex. You go see Delhi data center, it is 10 times bigger than this. All computers, all fiber. And this is like what Googles and Amazons of the world do. And people have no idea that India is capable of doing these things. And we had to get best of the best experts in the world to come in and advise us on how to build this kind of a structure. Because it requires very high-speed connectivity, high-speed computational power, lot of energy, cooling systems, and also what happens if there is an earthquake? You can't let the whole country go down. So you need duplication, redundancy, how do you switch from this to that? It's a very complex science. There are a handful of people in the world who understand a lot of these things. Everybody understands little piece, but everybody thinks they understand everything. Ignorance in this area is very, very common. One who has a little degree in electrical engineering or computer science thinks he can build all this. But believe me, it takes a lot of experience. And it also takes a lot of gut feelings. Sometimes it is not science. You know that this will work and this won't work. Why? You don't know why. But you know this is right and this is wrong. And when you get into these meetings where there are 30 experts and everybody is trying to convince and impress everybody else, decision making becomes very complex. And you have to carry everybody with you. So you have to develop consensus because it is still a democracy. It is not a company. It is government. And that process of working together is much more complex at times than technology. So we decided to build 4 centers, then every state government came in and said, no, we can't take our state data and give it to central government. We need our data in our premises. And we told them, you really don't need data center. Because you can't hold your data like this, it's going to come to center anyway. They said, no, we have to have our data center. We knew that that was waste of money, but we had to agree, give it in to develop consensus, saying you will have your own data center. So we built, every state has their own data center. This process is on. Then at the Knowledge Commission, we did a special study on e-governance. And we said, today's e-governance does not emphasize process re-engineering. Today's e-governance does not re-emphasize or emphasize standards, interoperability. These are all critical issues. And that is still not sorted out. For example, I wanted computerization of courts. So every time there will be Chief Justice elected, first thing I would do is call the new Chief Justice, go to his house, we'll have tea with him, convince him that computerization of courts is important. Every Chief Justice agreed that Mr. Pitroda, this is a great idea, you have all my support, and then he'll get retired in 8 months. Next fellow comes in, so again I go to them, but they were all very nice, very supportive, but at the end nothing happens. Because justices don't want to change. They want computerization. They want video conferencing and all that, but they still want their file. In this Digital India effort, every government office still uses manual file. Department of IT does not use electronic file because it is not here. Digital India is not in their mind. They want budget, they want computers, they want to spend money, but they don't want to change. So the other side of Digital India is we need to change our mindset. If you really want to benefit from Digital India, you must change. And change is very difficult. So I go to judiciary, convince them about computers, everybody agrees, then I go to police. They said yes. Then I go to Home Minister, and they are all friends. They all agree, yes, Mr. Pitroda, so they all call meetings, I sit with them on the meetings, and police head comes and court people come and then prison people come. But everybody at the end says, we want to do our own thing. And I said, look, you can't do that. Because when prison has to be managed, first thing is you need to know that this prisoner is not in the hospital. So you need to take government hospital, connect with prison. Then prison has to connect with police and police has to connect with judiciary. And all of these have to be interconnected. Then you benefit. Then security improves. Then there is a big area of big data, analytics. Today, the amount of tweet that goes on regarding terror is just mind-boggling. So you have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, internet, websites, blogs, all of these things tell you what's going on in the world. So I know a group of people who work just on detecting terror from internet. What they do is they analyze, they say Sam Pitroda, they analyze my number, and based on that telephone number they create my own universe. Who are the people I talk to, tweet about? And this requires analyzing 500 million transactions now in Twitter, from Facebook, and then finding my universe and detect who did I talk to, what did I say. During last Olympics in Brazil, they detected 11 attacks before they happened because of analyzing data on Twitter and Facebook. They could prevent 11 terror attacks at Olympics only because of analyzing data. That is the power of digital technology. It is good, it is bad. So Digital India to me is just beginning, because now we have laid the foundation in the last 8-10 years. How do we use this foundation? How do we change mindset? How do we think differently about court? We have 132 million court cases pending in India. It takes 15 years to get justice. Can you use computers to reduce that time to justice? Yes. Are you doing it? No. Why not? Because everybody is not coordinated. Technology is here. There are examples after examples on how to use digital technology if you change your processes, your mindset. We need to restructure our departments. In every department you need IT experts. You need chief technology officers. Department of External Affairs is a huge department with embassies all over the world. If you don't have head of IT, how do you coordinate all this? So it requires organizational architecture. You can't just have computer architecture, software architecture. You also need organizational architecture to meet the challenges of digital India. These are the things we are not prepared to do. We want old architecture, new technology, and it doesn't work that way. So Digital India is a long journey. It will benefit India in the long run. It will have impact on agriculture, health, education, governance, financial systems, army, security, you name it. Everything is going to be affected by Digital India, and everything will have to be changed. You cannot have Digital India and still have 4 years to get a degree from college. You will have to change that. You will have to change your education standards. People will have to take courses on internet. People sitting in Ahmedabad will be able to take a course in Kerala and course in Calcutta and should get credit for it. You can't do that today. So what good is Digital India if you don't change these kinds of things? I think that is the challenge now. Infrastructure is in place, applications will come. How do you begin to change laws, practices, processes, mindset to use these new tools to change things? That is a much bigger challenge. And I am very concerned about that. Because what we are doing is using digital technology to do the same thing we have been doing for years. As opposed to say, how do I use digital technology to do different things that I have never done before? It's a different question. I hope that young people here, someone like him, who just met me and he said, this young man, that he's in college at the age of 13. Those kinds of children will begin to change the mindset, will begin to change India, will begin to change technology. Older people are not going to be able to do it. They cannot grasp it, they cannot appreciate it, but then we are not willing to turn it over to them. We want to hold on to it. So you have sloganeering going on, everybody is tooting their horn without really understanding what this thing is. And that is dangerous. So I hope that I've given you some feel for Digital India. I hope we all realize that we have a long way to go, but the process is on, and it would require total transformation of our policies and programs and procedures in every department. We would need horizontal organizations and not vertical organizations. We would need flat organizational architecture which is designed for a task as opposed to a department of transportation. We may have a task on transportation, and the organizational architecture will have to be task oriented to take advantage of Digital India. With this, I want to once again thank you, thank Himanshu Bhai and others, including Manish Bhai, for giving me this opportunity. Thank all the dignitaries on the dais also, and I'm delighted to be part of your team here, and I want to thank you for coming together to organize this event. I hope we can open up for conversation now. Thanks. You know, I have a friend who has been working on internet for last 25-30 years, and Carl was the one who built first radio station on internet. Carl also is an activist who takes government information and makes it public. Government does not want their information to become public. So Carl runs an independent non-profit foundation. So in India, for example, just to give you an idea, there are 19,000 standards from Bureau of Indian Standards for building, safety, children's toys, machines. These standards are published by Bureau of Standards, Indian Standards, but not available to public. You have to buy it. So we have been pushing all over the world to make standards public. So we bought a set of standards in India, and Carl put it on the internet, and Government of India panicked, saying, you can't do that, that's copyright. We said, wait a minute, this is not your standard, public has spent money, it is public standard, and public is supposed to know about it. They don't agree. They said, you can't do that, you have to pay. So if you want to buy a building standard, it is 1,600 rupees. If sitting outside India, you want to buy Indian building standard, it is 160,000 rupees. So if I'm a civil engineering student and I want to learn about building standards, I have to buy standards from Government of India. We are saying, no, it's public information. So Carl has sued Indian government now, and there is a court case going on, and we are saying this is everywhere, this is true everywhere, even in America is true, because government does not want you to know a lot of stuff. So this fight goes on at all levels. We are doing it in the US, we are doing it in Europe. So we need people like that to join in this battle for digital development. Digital development is not about hardware and software. It is also about efforts like this. You know, your health data. Who owns your health data? It's a big issue globally. What can you do with your health data? Issues of privacy, piracy. But the main challenge is to open up the system. Open government, open data, open platforms, open software. Yesterday I spent entire day at Gandhi Ashram on non-violence. And Gandhiji would have liked open government platform. Gandhiji was all about open source software. Gandhiji would be tweeting today. Gandhiji would be, on the Facebook today. Gandhiji would have blogged today because it was about media, publishing, printing, sending newspapers out. Okay? And we are saying, how can government hold on to this information? And we have to fight it. So take Gandhian approach, Satyagraha, in digital world. Satyagraha means filing a court case, petition, explaining to government, saying you are wrong, public is right, this is public information, it's not your information. This is also part of digital development. Very few people understand it, believe it. There are only handful of people in this world who grasp this larger issue. Everybody does one little things. So we have a group of friends. I'm on the board of World Wide Web. With me on the board is the inventor of the web, Tim Berners-Lee. So I work with him on promoting web. Then I have a friend, Winton Cerf, who works with us. Winton Cerf is the father of internet. Tim Berners-Lee is the father of web. Vint is the father of internet. And you need to deal with all these people. You need to work with them to be able to understand. And all of this has to be a labor of love. It is not a job. Nobody gives you a job to work with Windsurf. There is no government position which says, now you go make friends with inventor of web. But you have to do that. Somebody has to do it. Carl and I spend a lot of time together. He has been with me now for 6-7 days, And for him, this is not a job to file a court case in India. He doesn't want to come here and fight. But this has to be done. It has to be done in public interest. It has to be public litigation. That is what is lacking here. And we need more of those Gandhian Satyagrahis in digital world to really build digital India. Thank you. Carl, do you want to come here? Just somebody wants to give you a little. Carl, I forgot. Carl also has 1 minute. Carl also has this little package. In this disc, there are 90,000 pictures of Indian independence era. Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, everybody. Then there are 400,000 pages of documents on Swaraj India. There are 19,000 Indian standards and 425 gigabit of memory. And I want all this to give it to them as a gift. This is for the engineers. Thank you. We can open up for discussion now if you have time. Okay? बोलो प्रश्न है कि नहीं कोई है?
What challenges you are finding with working with current government?
बोलो.
What challenges you are finding working with current government?
I don't work with the current government.
You don't work, but say the cooperation that you used to get in past.
No, I do not. You see, with Manmohan Singh government, I had an official job. I had a rank of a cabinet minister. When the new government came, rightfully so, I resigned. Because now it's time for some other young person to come in. I'm old. I'm 75 years old. Okay? So it's time for somebody else to do it. So I can do what I want to do. You know, I can then work with Carl, work with somebody else, and I travel all over the world and I do all kinds of things. You know, I do my own thing. Somebody else has to take a government job. If someone saying, I work, though I have official job, but I did whatever I thought was right thing to do.
So my question is all about, say, having, say, cooperation towards all your thought process.
If somebody wants to do something with me, I'm open, but they have to approach me. I don't need to approach anybody.
Thanks. Sir, one personal question. Sir,
Where are you?
one personal question. Sir, what made you stand with Rhoda as today?
Just my own journey, hard work. Nothing made me, I am. I'm just an ordinary guy with, like all of us. I mean, I have a friend here, Dilip Bhai. You know, Dilip Bhai is a bugger. I'm completely exactly opposite.
But, sir,
Okay, but we are good friends.
yeah, but how you curved your journey this way, sir?
Say it
It's a
again.
different journey altogether.
My journey turned out to be different. It's just luck, I think. Just luck. You know, there is a book written on my life. It was in English called Dreaming Big, My Journey to Connect India. It was published by Penguin last year. It is available on the web at Amazon and other places. It is also available in Indian bookstores. The first translation was done in Spanish by Mexican Federal Reserve Bank. And the book was released in Mexico. The second translation is in Gujarati and it is going to be released tonight at 5 o'clock.
Question. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been speaking about digital India as if there was nothing in India about digital before he took over in 2014.
Well, the fact is, I told you what was there. Okay, so now you decide. I have nothing to say.
He has been speaking as if India was in the Stone Age before he became Prime Minister of India.
Well, what can I say? Next. This young man had a question. Bolliye.
Sir, interesting Indian foundation of associations. I see the young students are coming out of association, they are looking for digitalization. Actually, we are Computer Society of India 50 years. What do you think such association to work for the rural youth? How they can transform digitalization through digital?
One thing a lot of young people could do is teach older people how to use these tools. Even I have problem using some of these tools. For example, my wife would be watching TV which I don't watch, and something she will push and everything will go haywire. So she will say, channel badlo. I don't know what to do. I don't know what she did because I'm doing my work on computer. And once in a while it will go in such a mess because she'll sit on the, remote control by mistake. So there are 4 buttons. So what do you do now? So you get some little kid, and say to this little kid, fix it. And the kid just does this and fixes it. I don't know how they do it. They never read instruction manual. So young children can teach older people new tools. 2, if lot of young children taught their teachers how to use computers, it will be a great contribution. But teachers have to understand that it is okay to have an 8th grader, 11-year-old, 12-year-old teaching them. So that's a mindset problem. If I had an option, I would say all young children in India should teach all their teachers how to have Facebook account, how to tweet, WhatsApp, text messages. It's a great contribution they can make. Then they should teach all farmers how to use this for better agriculture produce, how to get information on fertilizer, how to get information on, seeds, okay, how to get some advice. It's just too much work. But nobody wants to work. Everybody wants fame, money without putting a lot of work. That's the problem. Everything is hard work. Generally people want very little input, no delay, lot of output. World is exactly opposite. Lots of input, lots of delay, maybe little bit output once in a while. Yeah? Yes, sir.
Sir, what message you are coming to a young engineer from your life? So we get inspiration.
This was asked of me several times in the last few weeks. I gave a big talk at Mayo College in Ajmer. There were about 800 boys and girls. And same question was asked. I said, all I would tell young people today is to build good self. A self that is disciplined, analytical, creative, ethical, respectful, honest, global, multidisciplinary. And I think on October 2nd, Gandhiji's message is all about building self. Love everybody, love your enemy. Just include everybody in your life. See, we tend to fight as soon as there is some difference. Enjoy differences. Explore people who are very different from you, as opposed to looking for people who are similar to you. It is boring to hang around with people who are similar to you. It is fun to be with people who are so very different. Okay? And Gandhiji had all of these answers, believe me. And Gandhiji was a great character. And if our young can just focus on that as opposed to Bollywood, cricket, political gossip, it will be better. That's what I would suggest them to do. But that's not fashionable today. To be honest is not fashionable. To be sincere, to be hardworking, to be humble is not fashionable. That's what you want young people to be. And then things will happen. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning. How is the future of IoT in India, sir?
Big. Very big. The question is, how is the future of IoT? Okay. This is about Internet of Things. I'll give you one simple example. Take, for example, cars which will be self-driven. Uber today and all that. But very soon you will have a car which will not require any driver. 5 years, 7 years. Now when that happens, just think of the implications. First thing is, nobody will own a car. Because I can order a car on my cell phone from wherever I am. Why do I need to own a car? I won't need car insurance. There will not be any drivers, so millions of jobs of drivers will go away. You won't need garage. You won't need parking lot. Because all these cars will be constantly running around. You don't need to park anywhere. What does it mean? When you have robots, when you have drones, and when you have medical technology which will make sure that young people live to be 150, 200 years. Average lifespan is going to be 200 years in next 20 years. Guaranteed. What do you do if you're 200-year-old and still healthy? Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for all the insights that you provided. Sir, you touched upon the right words by talking about open source and connectivity to the grassroots levels. So, you also said that you've passed on the mantle now to others to work on all these things and take it forward. Sir, what is your idea about getting computing to every student in every school in India? Was there any such thought that ever occurred? Yeah, there's satellite programs going on that yes, we broadcast education, lessons, a lot of material is being created, a content is there. There's government policy supporting ICT, open source ICT in education, all that stuff is there. But what's your idea about how to get this impacting the student sitting in a far off remote government school? How?
You must recognize that you can't do everything for everybody at the same time. It'll be nice, but you can't do it. What you can do in urban areas, you can't do it in rural. That's why they are rural. The day you have everything else, they will cease to be rural. So whenever I say something, people would say, but have you thought about rural? Of course we have thought about rural. If we are thinking about all this, we can't be stupid. Okay? But the point is, what do you do first? You have to take baby steps. Ultimately what you want is all education on the cloud and fancy terminal. No matter where you are, remote area, school area, train, you can be studying. I don't need computer in school. I need all the education material on the cloud. Why do I need computer in school? I need computer for people who are in the school. There's a difference. So if I give terminal to all the people who are in the school, including teachers, and have a common cloud software in Gujarati is in Bengal in Bengali and all, but I need local content. I need relevant content. Today I do not have local relevant content in local language, which is a big challenge. How do I digitize all my Gujarati material? Gujarati poetry, Gujarati magazines, Gujarati articles, Gujarati, talks. How do I do that? That is the challenge.
Dr. Sam, it is indeed a great honor to meet you today. I come from Dubai. My name is Dr. Mustafa. Sir, Dubai is already into a digital age, and next year it's going to be a smart city. And I had an honor to meet the Chief Minister of Rajasthan on this digital India, the smart city. So for the smart city, we require smart people. So my humble suggestion that time was to have an intellectual census of a city, whereas the digital city is to be made. Right now we have a voter census. We need an intellectual census that how many, what level of intellectuals are living in, and bring everybody on one parity. And then introducing this will create more sense in communication and doing performance. So what is your idea on this?
I have been working on smart cities for 15 years. I have a problem. And my problem is, today's smart city is all about selling hardware. All these big companies, IBM, Cisco, and everybody wants to make smart city. It doesn't mean every other city is dumb city. What you need is a happy city and not a smart city. Everybody is smart. So don't judge that by giving this equipment you are going to make them smart. Okay. You really need to build happier cities. Cities in the past have not been planned properly. They just grew at random. The planning was poor, so now you have this block and you don't know what to do with it. So you got to restructure. Take for example, in most of the cities globally, people drive for half an hour to work. Those who live in north work in south. Those who work in south, live in somewhere else. We need to restructure a lot of this. So we need to create ecosystem in cities where cities are livable. Better transportation, better power, better sanitation. I see a day in next 25 years when cities will be designed such that communication cost would be zero, transportation cost would be zero. You can just order car wherever you are and wherever you want to go. City car will come, take you where you want to go. You can just leave it there and move on somewhere else. Energy will be inexpensive. Education would be free. Health would be free. That is a smart city.
So you just mentioned about Happy City, and the health issues are there. You know, the e-waste. E-waste is biggest problem. So what's your take
Before
on
you go to e-waste, look at the regular waste. Yeah.
Yeah.
What e-waste? I mean, just drive around in, Ahmedabad, garbage all over.
Yes.
And we are talking about, cleaning India, e-waste. Fine, e-waste is important.
Yes.
But first, focus on the regular waste. What do you do with all this garbage? Where do you put it? What is the landfill like? We have not thought about all this. But everybody says clean India. Idea of clean India is some actor is pushing with jadu and it's clean India. That's not clean India, right? Clean India will require maybe 3 to 5 lakh crore investment. You need garbage cans. You need somebody to pick up garbage cans regularly. You need to train people. Then you need to take this garbage and do something with it. Burn it, produce energy, dump it, landfill. What kind of landfill? Just a lot of technology. How do you clean your rivers? How do you clean your ponds? It is not very simple. Okay, it's good to talk about it, but cleaning India is complex technological problem.
So you said that the major challenge that we are facing is changing the mindset of people. But how do we change the mindset of people?
Each one of us has to change. I have no control over your mindset. I have control over my mindset. I can't advise you to change. You have to decide you want to change. I can't change my wife. How can I change anybody else? So we all have to decide. It's like somebody asked me during Anna Hazare Day, somebody asked me, what is your view on corruption? I said, look, only thing I can tell you is I am not corrupt. Guaranteed 100%, but I can't say the same thing about my wife. I don't know. Okay? And my wife got mad. She said, how can you tell this to the television? I said, it's a fact. You may have given somebody 5 rupees for corruption. I don't know that. We have never discussed that. I can't speak for you. I think mindset is that issue. Each one of us will have to decide that we want to change, we want to be good, we want to be honest, we want to be sincere, we want to love everybody. And there will be enough of us someday. Until then, it's a fight.
Sir, we know that IT technology advances very fast, and what is very recognizable and simple today might be completely different 5 years later. So there is one problem that in many technology courses like computer science and computer engineering, what they are teaching is obsolete 20 to 30 years ago, and like many times I see people using Turbo C++ as compilers, and instead of learning JavaScript and HTML5, they are learning C and C++. So all of this is really obsolete and doesn't matter really now. So why isn't this education advancing forward? What stops it from advancing?
Because teachers are 20 years behind. When I gave my talk at Mayo College to young boys and girls, I told them, somebody asked, what specific advice you have for us? I said, look, I don't have advice. Who am I to advise you? But I can tell you one thing. If you insist, my advice is there are 2 people in life you should never listen to as children. One, your parents. They have no idea about anything. And all their views are 20 years behind. 2, your teachers. So never listen to your parents, never listen to your teachers, respect them, love them, do what you want to do.
What is your vision for India for 2030?
Keep doing what we are doing, but I would like India which is more inclusive, I would like India that is more focused on bottom of the economic pyramid as opposed to top of the economic pyramid. I would like poverty to be reduced completely. I would like hunger to be eliminated 100%. I would like to create new jobs. And I would like to really slowly and slowly turn over India to younger people.
Sir, can you not think of educating people in a different specialization thing? BE, ME, that won't work, PhD won't work, but at least, it requires specialization in different fields. And for that, manpower supply is most important, I think. Can we not think in that way? Specialization, just like, medical science.
It's a whole different topic. Education is completely broken all over the world.
Yeah.
Including in US.
Yes.
It is completely obsolete. Who decided it should take 4 years to get a degree?
Yes.
Why should I take 4 years to get a degree? The key to education of tomorrow is self-learning. Self-learning where you say, I will decide what I want to learn. So give me basic education to a point. I am able to learn by myself. Learning is a lifelong thing. Learning doesn't stop when you graduate. Even I'm learning every day. Every day I'm learning something new. So education is all about lifelong learning. And if you're going to live to be 200 years, you need multiple careers. You should be mechanical engineer, you should be photographer, you could be a barber, you could be a farmer, you could do multiple things. This idea of doing one thing is obsolete. Remember, jobs of tomorrow are not going to be 40 hours a week job. Jobs of tomorrow will not have pension, will not have retirement benefit, guaranteed. It will be an assignment. 6 months here, 3 months there, 5 months here. That's the future we are creating. That's the flexibility we are talking about. So education is broken everywhere. Nobody wants to change.
સર આપે માનસિકતા ચેન્જ કરવા માટેની જે વાત કરી તમે તો આટલા બધા લોકો સાથે કામ કરો છો બહાર ઇન્ડિયામાં બીજા દેશોમાં તો ત્યાંના માઇન્ડસેટમાં સ્પેશિયલી ફોર યંગસ્ટર્સ બહારના માઇન્ડસેટમાં ને ઇન્ડિયાના માઇન્ડસેટમાં શું ડિફરન્સ છે ને શું ચેન્જ કરવા જેવું છે
ઇન્ડિયામાં પેરેન્ટ્સ આર ટુ નોઝી. શું કરો છો, ક્યાં જાઓ છો, ક્યારે આવો છો? Too much interference. Let me tell you one story. My father was 4th grade educated. એ બિચારાને કાંઈ ખબર જ નહીં કે અમે શું ભણીએ છીએ. But he never asked anything. So when he came to America, one day he asked me, કે દીકરા તું શું ભણ્યો છું? એટલે મેં કહ્યું, I used to call him કાકા. મેં કાકા હું ફિઝિક્સ પઢ્યો. તો એ શું હોય કે એટલે I realized that success has come to me only because my parents never interfered. They just loved us. કોઈ દિવસ પૂછ્યું છે તમે શું ભણો છો, તમારી શું ગ્રેડ છે, ક્યાં જાઓ છો, but they loved us. Okay. How many people can do that? એ તો બધા પૂછે તમારી ગ્રેડ કઈ આવી, કે એક્ઝામ ક્યારે છે, કંઈક તારું ગ્રેડ કાર્ડ બતાવ. Our parents never asked us about grade. I also never asked my children કે તમારું ગ્રેડ કાર્ડ શું છે. Love them, they'll figure it out.
તમે પિત્રોડા સાહેબ વાત કરી કે કોમ્પ્યુટર એપ્લિકેશનના કે એમાં એગ્રીકલ્ચર ફિલ્ડ છે કે પછી મેડિસિન્સ છે એજ્યુકેશન ફિલ્ડની અંદર પણ આ રીતની જો એપ્લિકેશન હોય તો ઘણી બધી યુનિવર્સિટી અને કોલેજીસને એલિમિનેટ કરી શકાય કારણ કે મોટાભાગના કોર્સીસ એવા હોય કે જેમાં ફિલ્ડ એક્ટિવિટી ન હોય તો એ એપ્લિકેશન ડાયરેક્ટ ત્યાં જો યુઝ કરવામાં આવે એને લેક્ચર્સ ડાયરેક્ટ કોમ્પ્યુટર્સ પર વિદ્યાર્થીઓ એટેન્ડ કરે અને જે વિભાગના કોમ્પ્યુટરના એપ્લિકેશન લેક્ચર્સ એટેન્ડ કરેલા હોય એની એક્ઝામ ઓપનમાં જ આપી શકાય આવી જો કંઈ સિસ્ટમ કરી શકાય
બધું જ છે, ટેકનોલોજી છે. Convince Department of Education, go through, UGC and convince UGC. પતી ગયું, કામ પૂરું થઈ ગયું. It's all there. Courses are there online. Exams can be taken online. You can select courses you want to take, but government of India will say, no, you can't do that. Who are they? They have no idea. But they are dictating what will be degree. That has to change. Today, to be a university, you need so much land. You need so many staff. So many have to have PhD. Okay, it's all obsolete, right? Okay, change your mind, but they don't want to change that. So what do you do? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
આપણે આપણી જગ્યા ઉપર બેસીએ 5 મિનિટ અને પછી આપણે લંચ સાથે લઈશું. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ પિત્રોડા સાહેબ, તમે આપનો કિંમતી સમય લીધો. પણ સૌથી વધુ મજા આવી બાળકોને, ખાસ કરીને યંગ એન્જિનિયર્સને, કે આપણે એકદમ આમ એનર્જેટિક કરી દીધા બધાને. હું વિનંતી કરું છું CSI અમદાવાદ ચેપ્ટરના ચેરમેન શ્રી જયેશભાઈને કે તેઓ આપણને વોટ ઓફ થેન્ક્સ કરે.
Sir, as such, I don't have any word to express my thanks. But anyway, it's a part of the common procedure. Honorable and respected Technocrat Dr. Sam Pitroda ji, dignitary on the dial, dear participants and invitees. It's my great privilege to have been asked to propose a word of thanks on this occasion. On the behalf of
આપણે 5 મિનિટ શાંતિ રાખીએ.
On behalf of the IET, Computer Society of India, GST IT Association, I would like to express very sincere and hearty thanks to Dr. Sam Pitroda sir. Very impressive talk has been presented by him today on very important topic, Digital India, on a World Habitat Day. Sir has explained nicely how to bring positive change in the system by framing the new policy and setting up the new mindset, attitude of the person for making modern and digital India. Let me remind to all of us that nearly 30 years ago, telephones were considered to be an amenity being used by only rich and upper caste people. But all credit goes to our former Prime Minister Sri Rajiv Gandhi ji, who took them to the rural masses, which was only possible with the idea and efforts of the Dr. Sam Pitroda as an advisor. Sir has nicely explained about the challenges and opportunity for making India more vibrant and prosperous through the digital technology. Sir also discussed about the connectivity and communications required among all departments for making country digitally empowered in the field of the IT. Digital India is campaign launched by the government of India recently to ensure that government services are made available to the citizens electronically by improving the online infrastructures and by increasing the internet connectivity. The Digital India basically consists of the 3 core components. Number 1, it's a digital infrastructure. Second one, it is the delivery of service digitally. And third one is the digital literacy. Once again, very heartily thanks, sir, for spending your valuable time and sharing the fact and finding for the same. We are really inspired by your great words, speech, innovative idea on making a society more prosperous and vibrant. Such grand events like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago. I am really grateful to the chairman of IE, Dr. S.D. Desai, by providing the premises and allowing us to arrange this event more successfully. I must express my sincere thanks to the convener of this event and chairman of GSTC, Dr. Manish Doshi. Without whose initiative and hard work, the event would not have been successful. Thankful to the Joint Secretary of the JSIA, Chairman of the JSIA, for who has actually put his positive efforts to make this arrangement. I also extend my sincere thanks to the all associated organizations, IE, IIT, CSI, especially for extending their support to make this event grand success. This event would have not been possible without all your support and presence. I am really grateful to all invitees and especially our immediate past chairman of the CSI Apex body, Dr. Vipin Mehta and other invitees. I would also want to express my sincere thanks to the print and TV media person for capturing great coverage about my today's session. I would like to thank volunteers, teammates and officers for their great service and effort. So we are really overwhelmed and pleased having you all here.
આપણે લંચ સાથે ડિનર નહીં. સાંજે નહીં જમાડી, અત્યારે જ જમાડવાના છે. થેન્ક યુ.